Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are beginning with the 7th section of my civic engagement curriculum on self-care and self-worth. This section matters because even if you have all of the civic engagement tools to work with members of our society, you also need to ensure you can take care of your well-being and believe in your worth. If not, it will be difficult to sustain your work or even step into spaces where you are needed. To start this section off, we will focus on the 18th topic on handling imposter syndrome. Throughout my civic engagement journey, I have had many moments where imposter syndrome crept in, where I sometimes wondered if I belonged in certain spaces, if I'm capable of doing certain things, or if I have enough knowledge to talk about certain things. Most of the time, I would push those thoughts aside and remind myself that I do belong in the spaces I am in, and I do deserve to participate in whatever goes on there. I want to bring up two important moments that seriously made me wonder if I was capable of doing civic engagement work as my career. My first story goes back to my first political campaign. One time I was working with two other young adults to organize a meet and greet event for our congressional candidate. We worked hard by booking a venue, creating a flyer, and inviting more than 60 people to the event. I saw this as an opportunity to bring community members together to learn about a candidate running for Congress and get motivated to vote in the congressional primary election. But when the day of the event came, only about 15 people showed up. We still held the event, the candidate spoke, and a few attendees asked questions and spoke with the candidate afterwards. But after the event, I wondered if the candidate wanted to stop working with me because we went below expectations on how many people showed up, and wonder if I was truly cut out for doing political work. I almost let the imposter syndrome take over, but two things helped me push through. First, my candidate reminded me that this was just their first time running. The campaign was not well known yet, and there was still more time to reach out to folks. The candidate framed it as part of the learning process. Second, I reframed the situation for myself by saying this is my first campaign event I helped organize, and 15 people still came. The worst thing that could have happened was nobody showing up. I appreciated the 15 people who gave their time to the campaign by attending this event, and their presence was meaningful. So, I kept the campaigning work going. My second story is about a month-long petition drive I coordinated with the same political candidate by collecting at least 1,250 signatures, or I should say valid signatures, to qualify for the primary election ballot. It was my first time coordinating a petition drive on this scale, but I stepped up because I wanted to grow my civic engagement skills. I worked with a dedicated team on getting as many signatures to not only reach that signature requirement, but also to get more than that. This is because certain petition signatures could get challenged and declared invalid if it was not signed by a registered voter who is part of the same political party as the candidate, a voter who does not live in the congressional district, a voter's information on the petition does not match what was on the election database, or anything else from the petition rules. My team was able to get around 1,300 signatures, and I felt hopeful we would be all set. However, someone challenged several signatures, and after we conducted a review of those signatures and cross-referenced them, the campaign determined we would fall short of the 1,250 valid signatures needed to have the candidate be placed on the primary election ballot. That meant my political candidate had to suspend their campaign. I will admit that I felt disappointed and wished that it didn't happen. Just like the previous story I told, I almost let the imposter syndrome get to me by thinking I was not cut out for politics. But again, two things shifted my mindset. First, my candidate told me how much they valued my work, loyalty, and growth. I felt appreciated by those comments. Second, I reminded myself that it was my first petition drive that I organized with people. We still got around 1,300 people to sign the petition, and again, the worst we could have gotten was 0 signatures. Regardless of the challenges the campaign got, reaching out to that many people was still a great big deal. It was not a failure, but instead progress because the campaign got more exposure as time went on and I put myself out there like I have never done before by asking for signatures. Having this positive mindset shift of choosing to learn rather than quit allowed me to move forward and eventually take on bigger and productive civic engagement roles with more confidence. I share these stories because they show how imposter syndrome works and how I maintain a positive belief about myself. I almost let imposter syndrome allow me to give up my political power and allow me to believe I'm not capable of doing civic engagement work. It almost made me have all of this self-doubt and almost made me not want to continue being civically involved. However, those imposter syndrome beliefs are not facts and do not reflect who I truly am as a person. I needed to work on actively changing my mindset by reminding myself I am capable of doing civic engagement work. Not everything will go my way or your way, but the way you respond will determine if you want to keep going with it or not. This is not to say I have fully gotten rid of imposter syndrome, and my curriculum will not say so otherwise, but I will help you understand what it is and how to overcome it so you can keep doing what you love and try new things out. So, let's talk about what imposter syndrome is. It is a persistent belief that you are not as competent as people think you are, where you think you are a fraud who does not deserve your role or accomplishments. It could sound like, I do not deserve to be here. I only got this role because of luck or one mistake, and everyone will realize I am a fraud. This mindset creates stress, anxiety, burnout, and physical symptoms like insomnia or a racing heart. And it often comes from negative core beliefs, perfectionism and procrastination, self-sabotage, loneliness, shame, and comparisons on social media. Let's break them down. For negative core beliefs, these are the deep, often unconscious beliefs you hold about yourself. Some examples include thinking, I am not good enough, I always fail, and I do not belong here. When these are left unchallenged, these beliefs turn into filters that distort how you see your achievements. For perfectionism and procrastination, this says, if it is not flawless, it is worthless. This mindset makes you not want to work on something if it has flaws, as well as hold off on releasing something if it is not 100% perfect. This is a problem since nothing can be inherently perfect. What is perfect to me might not be perfect to you, and what might be perfect to you might not be perfect to me. In turn, this delays our progress or stops us from working together. For self-sabotage, sometimes fear of failure leads you to hold back, such as avoiding opportunities, procrastinating, or quitting before you can get started on something. The issue with self-sabotage is that this is a way of rejecting yourself by not trying new things out that could improve your life, all because you do not think you deserve to try them out. For loneliness, when you feel alone with your struggles, you end up thinking no one is looking out for you and end up isolating yourself by hiding parts of your personality. This is a problem when your inner self and outer self do not match up, where you externally feel happy, but you internally feel sad, just so the other person thinks you are happy. When there's no authentic connection with others, being around people will still make you feel lonely when they do not see how you truly feel. Being isolated does not always have to mean being physically alone, but also emotionally alone. For shame, it means feeling humiliated or distressed when you do something wrong or look silly. Our physical response to shame is hiding from these uncomfortable feelings and not talking about it, which becomes a problem when someone feels like their mistake is too deep and thinks it is impossible to overcome it. So you could try to find ways to distract yourself instead of truly reflecting what you are going through. For comparisons on social media, this is where you compare your life with someone else's life based on their social media posts. You can end up wondering why someone else is having a better life than yours, which can make you feel you have not accomplished much. However, when someone posts things, they are usually sharing their best moments instead of any struggles they go through. Although there could be rare moments of people sharing a struggle they went through if they feel compelled to share. Remember, social media is a tool for people to post things they want to share to society, and you can only make judgments with the information they provide in their posts, whether the social media user gives the full context or not. As you can tell, imposter syndrome matters because if you let it convince you that you do not belong, you will silence yourself before you even speak. When it comes to politics, this is exactly what bad actors want. for you to stay quiet, disconnected, and disempowered. Overcoming imposter syndrome is not just about feeling better, it is about unlocking your potential to lead, advocate, and make a difference. Let's talk about how to overcome it. 1. Modify your core beliefs. Remember, core beliefs are not facts. For example, failing a test does not mean you are a failure as a human being. Beliefs can change, but it takes awareness. Try this activity. Write down your conscious beliefs about yourself, both positive and negative. Over time, notice your subconscious beliefs, which are whenever you notice a feeling within yourself at a particular moment that gives you a serious sensation. Then, when imposter thoughts come up, write them down and explain why you feel that way. For example, instead of saying, I feel like a fraud, right? I feel like a fraud because I do not think I am smart enough. Finally, list some evidence that disproves that belief by reminding yourself of your real wins, such as any speeches you delivered, any projects you completed, anybody you helped, or something else that is relevant in your life. This process slowly rewrites your brain to see facts about yourself, not false beliefs. 2. Be realistic with expectations about yourself. Perfectionism tells you that only flawless success matters, but in reality, any sort of progress is actually enough. For example, suppose you have an agenda of 10 issues you want the decision makers in an organization to adopt, and you advocate for those 10 issues in front of the decision makers. A perfectionist wants all 10 issues adopted, but as a realist, you do your best to create a persuasive argument for all 10 issues in the hopes that they could be adopted. The decision makers could adopt all 10 issues, or 8, 6, 4, or none at all. Whichever issues they adopt, just recognize the wins you got out for yourself with getting any of your issues adopted and know you tried your best. 3. Step outside of your comfort zone. When it comes to self-sabotage, let's think of it as a comfort zone that you feel safe and familiar being in. This means you will only do things you are comfortable with and will reject anything new. The solution to this is to take steps to trying new things. For example, if you want to become a better communicator, start with tiny actions that lead up to bigger actions, like greeting someone new, then asking a question, and having a one-on-one conversation with someone, in that order. Over time, those small steps build resilience and confidence until the big leaps do not feel so scary. 4. Do things you enjoy and ask for help. If you have lost touch with something that energizes you, reconnect with your hobbies, communities, or work that make you feel excited. And if you are struggling with something, ask for help instead of isolating yourself. Connecting with folks who can provide support to you can help you increase your sense of belonging and feel less lonely. 5. Build self-compassion. Pay attention to your self-talk. Write down negative thoughts like, I'm stupid, or I do not belong. Then write compassionate counterstatements like, it's okay not to know everything. I am still learning and I will know more about this. Or, my boss hired me because they saw value in me. Over time, self-compassion weakens shame and strengthens confidence. 6. Mindfully manage your social media use. Social media makes comparisons worse. So make sure your feed is filled with positive influences. Mute toxic accounts and posts, and set time boundaries and breaks on how long you will be on social media so you can protect your mental health. Also, remember that what you see online is filled with information someone wants you to see that may or may not reveal the whole truth. These practices are not quick fixes. They take enough effort, persistence, and repetition. But with time, they build new pathways in your mind that reinforce confidence, resilience, and self-worth. At the end of the day, overcoming imposter syndrome comes down to this. Believing in yourself is what truly matters. When you challenge your false beliefs, set realistic expectations, take small risks, reconnect with things that bring you joy, practice self-compassion, and manage your environment, you take back your power to control your life and set a positive path for yourself. And here's the truth. If bad actors are trying to bring you down, it is only because they see your potential and they want you to feel bad about it. Whether those bad actors are insecure about themselves or jealous of your success, they would not be trying to put you down if you do not have any accomplishments or power. What you need to do is not surrender your power in believing yourself and your power to make positive change. Do not let imposter syndrome silence you. You belong here and your voice matters. As I always say at the end of my videos, you are powerful and capable to become the changemaker our society needs. In the next video, we will continue with the 7th section by talking about the 19th topic about time management. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on the post notifications so you will be notified of when I post my next video, as well as share this video with people so we can ensure everyone believes in themselves and their power to make a positive difference in society. I appreciate you watching this video and your support to this channel. I will see you soon.